little over a year ago, which I've touched on this in a few other videos. I was at a really low point in my life where I honestly didn't want to live anymore. It was that bad. And I was still married at the time, and I knew I needed to leave. It was unhealthy, and I had been through a lifetime of other shit before that, childhood abuse and traumas and grief and loss and just, one thing after another. And so when I finally was at this point where now I found myself in a 10-year unhealthy marriage that has pretty much reduced me to nothing, I was at my wit's end, and I prayed to God that he would help me. He would help me get out of it. He would show me what to do next, because I could not keep living life like that. I couldn't be miserable anymore, and I needed a way out. I remember listing off all of these things that had happened in my life and basically kind of getting a little angry with him and just being like, look, I went through this thing and that thing and this and that, and why did you let me go through this? And I've always tried to be a kind person and do the right thing, and I don't understand why it felt like he was punishing me my whole life, and it was just, I had been stuck in this victim mentality for so long of why do all these bad things happen to me? And I couldn't see outside of that. And after I prayed and so many other things happened, my whole perspective changed. Suddenly I was no longer, and I truly believe this was God helping me and answering my prayer, but literally he changed my entire perspective on my life, where I went from victim mindset, why does all this crap happen to me? I'm miserable, I don't want to live anymore, to suddenly being grateful for everything that I had gone through, and seeing the purpose in that and how it had actually shaped me into the person that I was becoming, and how there was so much potential in that, and so many things that happened along the way were actually kind of either helping me learn lessons I need to learn, or were actually in a weird long ass way steering me in a different direction that I needed to go in. And so I suddenly had this huge change in perspective and mindset of instead of being, why did I go through these things? It became, I was supposed to go through these things, or he allowed me to go through these things, because that was all preparation to teach me the lessons I needed to learn, to give me wisdom, to give me experience, that sometimes it was actually protecting me, and I didn't realize it at the time until maybe years later when something else happened, or sometimes it was preparing me for something that would come up later, and at the time I didn't understand it. I didn't know why this bad thing was happening, but when I started looking back at specific things that had happened in my life and really dissecting them and looking at okay, well, how did this thing change me afterwards? What did I learn from this? I suddenly realized just how much this stuff had affected my life, and not just from oh, it hurt me at the time or caused pain or grief, but some of the things, good things actually came out of those terrible things that helped me become a stronger person or more resilient, or it was just such a weird shift in my mindset, where then suddenly I actually became grateful for all those things. Not that, I wanted to experience that pain or have these horrible memories or things that I went through, but I understood now that those things had meaning, they had purpose, and all of those experiences had given me so much wisdom. And I had also realized how I had been able to help some other people over the years through things that I went through, and without those experiences I couldn't have helped those people or impacted their life. And I feel God was showing me that this is part of your purpose. He wasn't trying to be cruel and punish me. He was putting me through all these things to lead me to my ultimate purpose. And now, like, for the last year, he's been restoring my entire life. Like, I, not only did I get out of that marriage, I walked away from it very financially stable, and I have been pursuing my passions and doing so much healing and trying to help other people. And I mean, I moved across country by myself to Colorado, where I had never been, and I get to live somewhere beautiful now, and I've been doing so much healing here, and just like my entire life has been flourishing. And I understand now that he was leading me through those things because there was a much larger picture in my future that I couldn't see at the time. And all of those things that I went through, all of those things together have made me the person that I need to be to now fulfill whatever this purpose is that he has for me and however he's going to use me. And, I've also, one of the ways might be this YouTube channel. Like, I kind of felt like I should start this because I thought, I don't know exactly what he wants me to do yet, but, maybe this is something I can do that will help other people in the meantime until I figure out, what else I want to do besides writing my novel that I'm almost done with. Yeah, I just want to stress the importance of changing your perspective, because so often we get stuck in these negative thought patterns and looking at things one way that we don't see other aspects of it. And now some of you might be watching this and thinking, like, what the fuck? Like, I went through all these horrible things and you're gonna tell me, oh, just think of it differently? Like, I know that doesn't erase it. Trust me. I know that does not erase the pain. It doesn't change what people did to you, how they treated you, what you went through. None of that. It doesn't change that, but it helps you to process it easier and heal from it and move forward. Like, you can't fix it, but you also can't stay stuck in it either. And so one of the ways that it helped me by changing that perspective was then sitting down and writing down different things I went through in my life, or if you don't want to write them down, just sit there and think about some of those things, even if they're painful, and really try to look at them objectively and think, okay, I went through this thing. Was there something that I learned from that helped me later, or is there something I can learn from it now? If you start looking for those threads in your life, in those events, start looking for those threads that connect everything, and you will see them. You will see how this thing may have sucked in the moment or may have been horrible, but because of that, this thing came about, or because of that, I learned this. Because of that, I was able to protect myself later, or this prevented me from, taking some horrible job somewhere or doing something else. Like, there's always things where we can't always see in the moment all the moving parts or what's happening behind the scenes. We can only see the thing that's hurting us and affecting us in the moment, and it can be so hard to look and think outside of that. But the more that you learn to do that and learn to look at every challenge or every terrible thing that comes your way as, how can I take this horrible thing and make something good out of it? How can maybe, I can learn some sort of lesson from this or gain sort of wisdom from this and apply it to my life and better myself in some way or grow in some way. Like, the more that you learn to find that silver lining and, not let the suffering have the last word. Like, don't let this, that's a good one. Don't let the suffering have the last word. Don't let that experience be for nothing. Dig deep and find something in there that you can pull out that will help better your life, help you move forward, help you move onward, upward, and do better things and live better and be happy and confident, and just find some way to make something good out of it. And it helps take away some of the power that thing has over your life, that memory has over your life, that experience has, that pain, that guilt, that fear, that shame, that trauma, whatever it is. Like, it won't be able to hurt you nearly as much as it used to. It won't completely get rid of the pain. It won't fix it. You can't go back and change it, but it at least can give you some sort of meaning or purpose out of it. And maybe in some small way that will help you be able to move forward. So yeah, I hope this helped in some way. This has become very long and I rambled a lot, so I might edit this down a bit. So if you see some cuts in it, that's why, because my ADHD brain just goes all over the place. I can't even talk right now. Goes all over the place. And you know, I also just film these videos very loosely. I sort of just like start with a general idea of what I want to talk about and just wing it. So I don't like, I mean, I write better than I speak, I promise. And I feel like I could really write all of this out and probably have it sound so good, but I don't want to just be sitting here like reading something I wrote, or like, I feel like if I memorize it, then it'll just sound like I'm giving a speech and it just won't come across as genuine. I really try to be a genuine, authentic person and just show up as myself. And a big part of myself is just winging it. So fake it till you make it, I guess they say. But anyway, I hope you got something out of this video, and I hope that, yeah, that this helped you in some way. And if not, well, maybe this wasn't for you, or maybe I just need to be better at not rambling. Anyway, have a good day. Thanks for watching.